Hi, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Michaela, and on this channel, I bring through messages that I'm currently getting on my own personal healing and awakening journey to hopefully help you feel a little bit less alone on your journey and provide you with some context for what might be going on energetically. Because sometimes it's really easy to feel like you're going crazy or you're lost in the dark and you think you're doing life wrong when you're on this journey. And I hope that these videos serve as reassurance that this inner work that you're doing, this path that you're on, the spiritual lessons that you're learning right now are so incredibly important, not only for your life, but for the entire collective here. When we start to shift and when we start to remember who we are and we start to embody that with confidence, we activate so many other people to remember their power, to remember our ability to create our own reality and to live from love over fear. So, if that aligns with you, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. For those of you who are returning, I'm so happy to have you back. I truly believe that many of the souls who are drawn to my videos are soul family, souls who are on a very similar path to me, learning very similar lessons to me at this time. With that being said, please always take what resonates and leave the rest and use your own intuition and discernment, because especially today, I'm going to be pulling some cards and doing a little reading for the energies that are present at this time. And with any card reading that I do on my channel personally, I'm actually reading these cards for me first and foremost, but it's likely that they'll resonate with you as well if you were drawn here. So something that I'm really working on right now is learning to listen to my intuition, following what excites me, and not leading my day with what my mind thinks I should do. And today I felt so excited about pulling some cards for all of us to help us get some clarity on what's going on. And I really see it as like just a chill time for us to hang out with spirit, hang out with our angels and our guides, and just have a laugh, maybe get some clarity, get some guidance, but most of all, just to strengthen that relationship. So in this reading, it's very likely that what I will bring through will confirm what you already know to be true. If you find yourself like fighting against what I'm saying, or if it feels just off or wrong, just know that this is a collective reading. This is for me, this is for our soul family, and certain things might not be directed at you, and that's okay. You can just leave it for somebody else. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm just going to cleanse the energy. I invite you to take a gentle breath in. Only the highest, purest, most unconditionally loving energies, aligned with the law of one, with unity, with unconditional love, can exist in this space with us today. Thank you for surrounding the collective, tuning in with protection, clarity, and allowing these messages to come through easily and effortlessly in alignment with the highest good of all. I call on our angels and guides and ancestors who love us unconditionally to be here with us now. I call on the highest, purest, most loving source energy to be here with us now, and to bring through the messages through these cards, through my words, through my energy, to activate us and help us align with our highest truth, with our highest timelines, and with our highest alignment at this time. Thank you. So let's just take a moment to take a breath in and invite in those unconditionally loving energies into our space. Feel them surrounding us and protecting us. And I feel like I'm meant to get started with this Light Worker Oracle by Alana Fairchild. This is like one of my favorite decks, and yeah, these messages are really powerful. So I think we'll get one card from this deck as like the overall theme of what we're experiencing at this time. What is the overall theme? I got this one the other day and I was like, oh, really? The dark night of the soul? But it's coming out reversed. And this is how it came out for me the other day. And I feel like the divine wants us to know that this dark night of the soul energy is coming to an end because we are actually shining so much light on that darkness. But I'm going to pull some more cards, but just overall, this energy in reverse, meaning we're starting to see clearly now. The dark night of the soul is all about that trust fall into the void, into nothingness, into being so unsure of this path and where the divine is calling us, but knowing that we have to walk forward on it, that there's no going back. And it's likely that if you're here, you've been on this path for a while, because I remember when I pulled this card the other day, I didn't really consider, with this deck, I don't usually consider reversals, but the fact that it's coming out reversed twice in the span of 2 days, I really feel like there's significance to that and that we're going to find out some more, but it's likely that you've been walking this path for a while in the dark and you felt like over the past few months that you've come out into the light and you've had these experiences. This is something I talk about on my channel a lot, where we're having these experiences where we step into this new vibration and this new energy. And because we have been doing that, we really actually do know where we're headed now. We might not logically know all of the logistics of it, but we're no longer in the dark night of the soul. We're emerging into the light and our soul is whole again. That's what I heard. Our souls are whole again. We're becoming whole. We are really re-emerging from this connected to ourselves again. And it's like, I'm feeling a very celebratory energy. I'm not really feeling like we're going to have to go through like that phase of really not knowing at all why we're being led here or what we're doing, just knowing that we're called to it. I think we're at this state of consciousness now where we actually do know. We do know why we're doing this. And that makes it easier to trust. So let's get some more information. I'm also being drawn to this spiritual service card. And so, okay, here's the message that's coming through with this. If you're here watching this video, you have known for a while that your mission here on earth is to help. It's likely that you were put into a position, even as a child, where you were maybe expected to help others or where you were just naturally gifted at it, because this is not your first rodeo. You have been here many times. And so you have this natural healing ability within you. And you've known for a while that you were meant to come to earth to make this world a better place. And unfortunately, and this is something that I have been through too, so there's truly no judgment here, this world makes it really hard for light workers to work from a place of alignment. Because so many of us have been in survival mode for so long, it can feel like there's this pressure to self-sacrifice and help as many people as we can and not actually embody the work that we're doing. And I'm talking about like a past version of you if you're watching this right now. If there's still some of this energy going on in the present, this is meant to bring this to your awareness. But for many of us, this was a past energy that we've already traversed. So no matter where you are, it's just really important to understand with loving awareness, you can shift. So if what I'm about to say describes where you're currently at, no judgment. And if what I'm about to say describes where you used to be, just really recognize where you are now and celebrate yourself. But I know for me personally, when I first wanted to start like a life coaching business, I was really wanting to help people. That energy was very present and very real within me. But I felt like I was running out of time. I felt like I needed to build this business in order to survive, in order to make money. That is the system that we live in right now. And it's really hard to be this healer, to know that you have this important gift, and then to try to find a way to sell in alignment, to build a business in alignment. It is incredibly challenging to figure it out because we're in a system that's so out of alignment. So bringing your genuine and pure light and having that mold into a business, it's really hard to do that without tainting that purity. So that's the path that you've been on for a while. You've been trying to figure out, how can I bring my spiritual service into the world without tainting it, without coming from this fear-based place, which so many of us have come from. And I know for me, for a while, I would get these like downloads, right? I would get these messages from spirit, but these messages were meant for me. But instead of taking those messages and embodying them and giving myself the time that I needed to really not just logically understand, but live that out, I would go and I would regurgitate it. But I wasn't really giving myself the time and the solitude that I needed to really embody these lessons in a way that is actually effective. Because we cannot truly help the collective if we are not helping ourselves. There are little puzzle pieces that we learn about healing that we can only learn through experience. And the other thing that we are meant to learn is that we are not here to save anyone. That is a product of our conditioning, where because we were so naturally gifted at healing, we thought, oh, this is how I receive love. I have to help other people. And it felt good for a while to be able to help other people feel better. And then we feel good about ourselves. But that is not truly empowered, because it is a feeling of being good enough or being worthy that is only dependent on what you can do for other people. And it's also entering into this savior archetype that is out of alignment, because we are all our own saviors. And so that is why going through this dark night of the soul and embodying your own savior energy, becoming your own savior, is what is going to be of the highest spiritual service to humanity. Something that I do here on my channel that was guided by spirit and that I find to be so relieving for myself and for others is I share what I'm going through as I'm going through it, usually a little bit after, so that I can share what I've learned to help others, but not from a space of, I am this authority, I know what's best for you, you do this, 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 and this, and then you'll be saved. It's just an activation. It's a transmission of energy. And that is what we are here to do. And so I feel very excited, because I feel like there's really a lot of us right now who are really grasping this and who are willing to do that work, willing to face that discomfort of knowing that we're called to build these spiritual businesses and build this legacy, I'm hearing, but only being willing to do that in highest alignment. I just want to congratulate you, because you might not even realize that this work you are doing is what is going to change the world. It's so powerful. We are our own healers. We are our own saviors. And yes, we can activate others and we can provide guidance, but only so much so that it is just reminding somebody else of their own power, reminding somebody else of what they already know. We are not here to save and fix others. So I have the Rider-Waite Tarot, the Five of Cups. But I'm going to just pull some cards, and if that one comes out, we can read into the energy. But Divine Spirit who loves us unconditionally, what else do you want us to know about this message? There's 4 cards that came out. Okay. Before I read into these cards, I'm going to pull from the Golden Secrets Oracle by Jessie Golden. I love her skincare, so I got her oracle deck as well as a gift. Can we clarify these tarot cards? Okay. We've got archetype and adapt. Archetype says, I live my life at my highest potential by choosing light in every moment. And adapt means I'm open to new ideas and changes that help me evolve into who I am meant to be. Nature reminds me that I too am forever changing, so I remain adaptable. Okay, so with the Knight of Swords here, I feel like there's this part of you that is ready to just charge ahead with bringing your spiritual passions into the world. And when I say spiritual passions, I just mean that you are ready to create something that helps humanity in some way. And this might not be directly through like holding space for other people or being in that typical service career. This could literally just be creating something from a place of love and passion and excitement, like music that activates people or paintings that activate people. You don't even really have to know that it's doing that. You just know that because you've created it from this pure aligned place, that what you are doing is making a positive impact on the world. And so that is where you feel really ready to create from. But your mind might be telling you to charge ahead really fast. There could be some old energies of, okay, if we want to do this, we just have to go. We just have to go for it. And because that energy is coming in, there's some fear coming up emotionally with the Six of Cups in reverse that comes from past memories and childhood experiences in childhood where you charged ahead with something and then you experienced pain, where you went towards what you were passionate about or you trusted yourself and then you experienced trauma. And maybe that pain was incredibly dark and heavy and took you a lot of time to recover from, and maybe you are still recovering from it. You're still retrieving these parts of yourself, that innocence, that trust in yourself, that trust in the universe, because what you went through caused so much pain and ultimately caused a separation from yourself. A separation from this part of you that feels safe moving forward in life. And so maybe you've been in a little bit of a stagnant energy. And with the Seven of Swords here, I'm really just hearing the word deception over and over again. This could have to do with lying. Maybe you lied as a child. And this is coming through because this is something that I experienced and I just worked through this yesterday. But I used to lie as a child and it ended up leading me into some really, really painful situations. And I didn't quite realize that me lying was not something that I naturally wanted to do, right? It was stemming from pain. It was stemming from rejecting myself, not feeling like I belonged, not feeling like I fit in, not feeling like I was in the right place at the right time, not being able to honor who I truly was because I felt like I would be rejected and I felt like I wasn't safe to be myself. And so that led me to lie as a child, which I think many of us have experienced. And if that's not it for you, there could be some other way. Maybe you were lied to or deceived. But I just feel like whatever this memory was, or multiple memories, it created this sense of deep disconnection from ourselves. Confusion in the mind, not being able to know what is real and what is not. It created blockages within us because whenever we lie, we experience blockages in our throat chakra, I'm even having a hard time communicating this right now because it's like so painful to talk about, but I feel like I really am meant to talk about this because I think more of us have experienced this than we realized. The whole point of what I'm trying to share is that you will be able to move forward successfully and celebrate your creation when you start to go back and retrieve this part of yourself who didn't feel like you could live in integrity. In whatever way that was, maybe this isn't about lying as a child. Maybe this is doing things that you felt like you had to do when you really didn't want to. Any way that you separated from your true self, from that alignment, that is the memory that I'm talking about. And it might be many memories. I know for me, it is many memories like this. And the way that I'm working on healing this right now is by truly understanding why I did that. Because in our culture, we really judge people who lie. We really tend to judge people who act out of their trauma, because often this causes other people pain. And I'm not trying to discount that. But for so much of my life, I judged myself for what I did. And I didn't realize that I didn't truly want to behave that way. I didn't truly want to make those decisions or say those things that weren't true. It was coming from a deep place of shame. And if I continue to shame myself about the actions that stemmed from shame, then it continues this cycle where I can't trust myself to move forward, where I feel disconnected from a part of myself. And that is the cycle that we need to end, because this is what helps us to build the self-trust that we need in order to be able to create in alignment. Because creating in alignment requires our ability to adapt. And with this card having an octopus on it, there's something that I want to briefly mention that is not meant to evoke fear. It is meant to bring something to your conscious awareness. Something that I have been learning with my spiritual mentor right now is about entities that can attach to us when we are disconnected from ourselves, when we experience those initial wounds of shame and self-abandonment and pain and rejection. We allow space for these entities to come in and attach to us and control us. And so this is what can lead us to lie or to hurt other people. We don't want to do this, but when there is a manifestation of fear or shame that we bury and pile on with more shame and judgment and don't allow ourselves to feel and release, we can often be controlled by these darker energies with these thoughts that say, oh, you should just lie to this person, or you should just do this. I bring this information forward, something that I rarely talk about on my channel, because I want to empower you to know that at any given time, you can call your power back. You can command these energies and entities to leave with the power of love, not with fear, not with judging them, because remember that these entities are really just manifestations of pain that feed on pain. And so we let them go with love, with forgiveness of ourselves, but also with that strength that says, you have no power here. I do not consent. I command you to leave now and return to source. And then what you're left with is the understanding of where that energy attached. Through the shame, through the judgment towards yourself, through the inability to recognize that the actions you took at that time were just a manifestation of your own pain. And when you bring love and full understanding and compassion to the part of you that was judging you, to the part of you that lied or made the choice that caused so much pain in your life, when you can bring that compassion to yourself, you become whole. You call that part of you home. You are no longer susceptible to being invaded by those thoughts and those energies that keep you in that cycle of shame. And that is really what we are called to do at this time. It's feeling like we've been building up the strength to be able to do this, right? And with this archetype card, I'm really feeling like this is the shadow self and the higher self coming into union. I'm not even really focused on what this card says or what this card means in the deck. I feel like this is us coming together with these shadow parts of us and knowing that at our core, we are love. And at our core, we would have never wanted to do anything that would cause harm to another, to do anything to deceive ourselves or separate from ourselves. Reminding yourself, I'm hearing the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm hearing to repeat that to yourself 5 times if you feel called. And really call those parts of you forward and surround them in love. Even the part of you that's judging yourself deserves love. And you have the power to heal this. You have the power to put an end to this cycle. And it's interesting because this symbol is on the card that says adapt. And I think that's what we're really being called to trust ourselves with, is our ability to adapt and to listen and to be present. And we struggle to live in alignment because living in alignment requires being attuned to the present moment. And we struggle to be in the present moment, or we used to struggle to be in the present moment, because in the present moment, that is where our pain will come up. So I'm feeling like this might be one of the deepest wounds that some of us have experienced, and we're ready to face it and love it. We're ready to forgive ourselves more deeply. And I'm being reminded to tell you that you might not know all of the details of this memory. You might not really remember everything that happened, and that's okay. All you need to do to call this energy forth and to heal is to just ask to be shown. And whatever comes up, trust it. If it's a feeling of numbness, if it's a feeling that is incredibly uncomfortable, can you surround it in love and say, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. Saying I'm sorry to the body. I'm sorry that I've abandoned you in my life. I'm sorry that I've left this present moment so many times to survive. I understand why I did it, but I'm here now. And it is only in the present moment when we clear through, I was going to say when we clear through this pain, but it's more so when we make space for the pain to move through us. And when we're no longer afraid of that pain because we understand it and we're surrounding it in love. Doing that allows us to remain anchored in the present moment, and that is where we learn how to co-create with the universe. We cannot co-create with the universe if we are trying to think 10 steps ahead with our mind. We get the downloads, the insights, and the access to what is most alive in us in the present moment. And it requires our ability to adapt. To adapt from, and it's becoming clear why this was on the adapt card, because I feel like that entity energy, that control, that gripping is very much what we were conditioned in. We weren't conditioned to adapt to the present moment, to be free beings who can go where they're called. We were conditioned to only take the logical action. And that is what has separated us from our divinity, from our ability to co-create with the divine, and therefore be of spiritual service to the world. So what we are really learning right now is how to be in the present moment, even if it's painful, even if it's hard, to find clarity and relief and wholeness through that pain, and find the calm beneath that storm that has kept us from our inner voice for so long. It is the trauma and the pain that is unresolved in the body that disconnects us from our intuitive and psychic abilities, from that clear channel to the divine that is always with us and always guiding us on where to go based on what feels good. It is the mind that tells us that we have to do these logical things in order to survive. And so adapting into this new way of being is what we are mastering right now. We are learning how to live in alignment and not be so rigid in how we think things are meant to come about, but to allow ourselves to flow and adapt to what is given in each moment. And that will come with trial and error, but ultimately there is a celebration coming. There is success here. I really see this as like, okay, with this dark night of the soul, this is what we have been building up to be able to face. And you might think that this is going to be really, really painful and really, really challenging. But at this point, you've built up so much love and safety and security within yourself that while it might feel like you're tapping into some deep grief and shame, you are going to feel so surrounded and held and protected in that it's actually going to be extremely freeing to finally see yourself clearly, to finally stop blaming yourself and shaming yourself for the mistakes that you made when you didn't know any better, when you were being manipulated and controlled. Forgive yourself. You deserve forgiveness, and you deserve this freedom and this celebration that is coming in. And I just want to ask, with this Four of Wands, what can we expect? Queen of Wands. Oh, I feel this one. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, for our final message, we have the Queen of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. This came out reversed, but I have some thoughts on that. And then the Four of Cups. And so I think what's coming through with the Four of Cups is I actually got a vision of him looking up and finally seeing the blessings. When we've experienced trauma and pain in our lives, when we've experienced lack of love and lack of alignment, it can be really hard to remain in that frequency of gratitude and seeing all of the blessings around us because there's a part of us that needs to be acknowledged and loved. And so what I'm seeing is as you start to really acknowledge yourself and what you've been through, that whole healing process we just described, you are actually going to maybe for the first time be able to see clearly the abundance that is already here in a way that feels natural and not forced. You're going to just look up one day and you're going to look around and you're going to see the trees for what feels like the first time without this cloud of trauma and shame over you. You're going to see the sky for what feels like the first time. You're going to look at the water you have to drink. You're going to see the plants and the furniture in your home and your physical body moving. And you're going to see the abundance in the seemingly mundane things that are already here. And what this is going to do is it's going to spin the wheel in your favor. And you are going to be embodying this beautiful, receptive, passionate, creative energy again. You're going to see the potential in all of your ideas, in all of your passions. The Queen of Wands knows how to trust her innate rhythm. She knows how to adapt. She knows that her ideas are so valuable and she knows how to bring them into creation. You're going to be getting your confidence back. When we are ashamed of ourselves, it diminishes our confidence. And when you let go of that shame, you're going to feel so confident in what you're meant to do and you're going to move forward and everything is going to shift in your favor. This is deep and powerful work that you are doing. And I just want to say that if you are called here, Spirit wants you to know you are so guided. You are so protected. You can call on your guides anytime to really help you in this process of healing. In this final little leg of this dark night of the soul that you've been going through. You've been building up to being able to hold space for this and you are ready. And if you can face the parts of yourself that have been buried in shame for so long, you will find underneath of that so much peace, so much courage, so much confidence. Your fire will reignite, and you will have what it takes to move forward on this path, to adapt, to live in alignment, to not fall back into those old traps, because you are going to be co-creating with the divine. And it is just going to be such a magical time. I really feel that. You are so supported. Your ancestors are cheering you on. You are the first person in your ancestral line to be able to even begin doing this work. Never mind, get to this place of completion. I'm really seeing this as like the finish line. And I'm seeing like, in my mind's eye, I'm seeing all of your ancestors, all of the people who came before you who weren't able to do this, cheering you on, holding space for you, helping you every step of the way. So just ask for their help to come in. You have to give permission and say, I give permission to my angels and guides and ancestors who love me unconditionally, who are aligned with my highest good, to come in and support me in this healing process, in rediscovering my strength and letting go of shame. I am ready. And know that I am right here with you. You are not alone. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but you deserve compassion and understanding. No matter how bad it was, no matter how much you did that you felt ashamed of and how much you experienced that hurt you, you deserve love. You deserve forgiveness. You deserve peace. You deserve wholeness. And it's time to see yourself clearly, because you are not your pain. You are not your shame. You are a gift to this world. And as you develop compassion and clarity for yourself and what you've gone through, you will be able to see the world through the eyes of love and show up in your spiritual service in a way that is in full alignment, where you are so embodied and non-judgmental because you have been through it, and you know that we are all deserving of that compassion, and we are all deserving of that forgiveness. And that is the medicine that this world needs. It's what you came here to do, and you are so supported in this. If you didn't feel supported before financially or from the universe and what you were trying to build, know that it was because you had to go through this journey in order to do it in alignment. And that is what you actually wanted. There would have been too much karma on the other path of trying to be someone's savior. You weren't meant to go down that path. You are ready to move forward in alignment now. Do this work on yourself when you feel called. It will naturally come up if you feel those waves of heaviness, if you feel blocked, confused. Go inward, call on your guides to help you, and tell yourself, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry, I'm here with you now. This is going to change everything. So that is where I feel called to leave it today. Thank you so much for being here with me on my channel. Thank you so much for being here on earth with me at this time, navigating these energies together. We are stronger together. And this was deeper than I thought we were going to go today, but I'm here for it because this really just feels like the energy of what I've been going through, and it gives me so much clarity on what's waiting on the other side of these challenging experiences and this internal work that we're doing. We are at the finish line. The dark night of the soul is coming to an end. We are getting the clarity that we need in order to bring our beautiful gifts into the world. I would love to know how this video resonated for you in the comments. I just want to thank all of you guys for your beautiful comments. They mean the world to me, and I just feel so connected to you guys when I read them, that we're building this community, that we're soul family, all here doing this together. I want to say a special thank you to those of you who support my channel through your donations and super thanks. This is part of how I'm learning how to receive and to just put my creations out there. And it really just does help me to keep going and keep devoting as much of my time as possible to creating messages like this. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Can't wait to hear from you in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.